Hi, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 2023 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel be seen by the YouTube algorithm, and it helps me out tremendously. So, thank you so much for doing so. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy that you need to be mindful of during this time, Aquarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is needing to rest. And even when you're resting, not feeling like you're rejuvenating yourself, you're replenishing yourself. So just be aware of that. Also be aware that we're not honoring our story. We're not taking the time to slow down and to connect with ourselves and what we love and what we want and how to move forward and just loving us. That's going to be really important. And that's a tricky thing for us to do right now. So just be aware of that. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and Spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. And here, this is evolve reversed. We don't feel like we're evolving. We don't feel like we're getting to that point we want to be at. We always feel like it's just getting pushed further and further and further away. So just know that you are evolving. Just know that you are headed in the right direction, that you are moving a heck of a lot further and farther forward than you think you are. So that's a beautiful thing. It is. It's not beautiful that we don't feel that way, but it is beautiful that we are getting there. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. Okay. Well, I love the Three of Swords reversed for you. That's absolutely beautiful. So I know everything's reversed, and we're going to be like, well, I don't like that. But it's actually a really good thing. We have the Three of Swords reversed, which is excellent. We have the Five of Pentacles reversed, which is also excellent. We do have the Death card reversed as a Scorpio energy. We can be having a bit of difficulty from that, but this also makes sense astrologically speaking, and we'll go into that in just a moment. And we have the Three of Pentacles reversed. So are we going to be really big team players during this time? No, not really. But we are going to know what needs to get done, and we are going to get it done. We can feel very overburdened. So just be aware of this. So this new moon is in Cancer. It's on the 17th of July. It's at 24 degrees, 56 seconds of Cancer. And this is a very powerful new moon. Cancer is an extremely sensitive, kind, empathetic, nurturing sign. It is a beautiful, beautiful sign. It is also a sign that is strongly linked with motherhood and with mothering, but it is also a very complex sign. So when I usually think of Cancer, I usually think of somebody who's just very nurturing, very loving, very compassionate, and that's usually the extent of how I saw Cancer for a very, very, very long time. But Cancer is also representative of the crab. And Cancer, when we say its name, do we think crab? No, we think disease. So it has a complexity to it already just within the name. And especially since something so, a sign so caring and nurturing can also have the same name as something so scary and overwhelming. So being aware of that starts us to understand Cancer, because the crab has its skeleton on the outside. And with the skeleton on the outside, it means that as the crab grows, it becomes very vulnerable, right? It's a vulnerable, painful transformation, growth. And so the meaning of Cancer is growth and transformation, but they're painful. It's it's painful. And so here we see that within our lives. As we grow, as we transform, there is the necessity of it all, but it is painful. And we can see that linked with motherhood. We can see that linked with any sort of nurturing. It hurts to care. It hurts to love. But if we see it in terms of the body, right? Giving birth, it's painful. It doesn't look, it doesn't look like a walk in the park, and it isn't a walk in the park. So here, understanding that is going to be a very powerful part of understanding the Cancer time period, because the sun is in Cancer, the new moon is in Cancer. And so we are growing, we are transforming, we are sensitive, we are compassionate, but we are also being pushed outside of our comfort zones. And we're starting to see things in very different ways. Now, Pluto is squared the nodal axis. All right. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So that's a big deal right here, that's reversed. That can mean, excuse me, I do apologize. That can mean that the Pluto squared the nodal axis can be a little bit complicated for us, can be a little bit more intense than we would want it to be. So just be aware of that. All right. And this is on the 17th of July. Our collective destiny, our karmic destiny, it starts to shift with Pluto squared the nodal axis. The north lunar node moves from Taurus to Aries. The south lunar node moves from Scorpio to Libra. We see that here. We're kind of happy to move out of the Scorpio. That's going to be a good shift for us, but it's also going to be something that's a little bit more intense. These are both sister signs. Taurus is the sister sign of Libra. Aries is the sister sign. No, Taurus is the sister sign of Scorpio. Aries is the sister sign of Libra. And why that's important is because in astrology, the north lunar node is known as the head of the dragon. The south lunar node is known as the tail. And sister signs can bring out the best, or they can bring out the worst in each other. So understanding that during this time, as we're looking at things through the ferocity of the Aries mindset, but we're being steered by things by the sensitivity of the Libra mindset, that's going to be really important. Also, the justice seeking of the Libra mindset. And when justice seeking and Aries energy, they both have a very strong sense of what is right and what should be done. So we can have very distinct, powerful ideas about things. This also marks the cardinal grand cross, which is 29 degrees in Capricorn, 29 degrees in Aries, 29 degrees in Libra, and 25 degrees in Cancer, in the new moon in Cancer. And this is an extremely powerful configuration that's all action oriented. We become much more about confidence, and much more about determination and focus. We become less people pleasing during this time, and that's a good thing. Jupiter is squared Mercury, which brings big ideas, visionary energy to the forefront, and Neptune is trine the sun and the moon, meaning everything has to have a deeper meaning to it. It's called the spiritual context of Neptune. We have to see things in a spiritual way, through a spiritual context. It's just going to be part of who we are during this time. Now, sorry, hit my mic. Now, the Three of Pentacles reversed. This is a time where we might not feel like we work well with others, and we might not feel like we want to work with others. This is also, with this card's depiction, we're not going to be as detail oriented as we usually are, or as patient as we usually are. So respecting that within ourselves is going to be very important. We're not going to be paying attention to our dreams. We can already see that with the Four of Swords. We're not paying attention to rest and to dreams the way that we should be. Just know that your dreams are going to be very powerful. They're going to hold a lot of information for you that you can be kind of puzzling about because they'll stick in your mind a little bit more than normal dreams do. With the Five of Pentacles reverse, this is a release of a poverty mentality, of feeling out in the cold, feeling as if I can't. We're really going to be moving from I can't to yes, I can. And there's a sense here always that we are never alone. We might have people in our waking lives that we say, oh, that's my person, like those are my people type of thing. But we can also have people in our spiritual lives, our angels, our spirit guides, people who have passed on, who are right there with us, who connect with us, who are powerful and graceful and just brilliant to be around. We are moving out of feeling barred away from wealth, barred away from prosperity, always feeling like, I want to say beggars or paupers, where it's like, I can't have what it is that I deeply desire. And this is like, enough is enough of this. Enough is enough of this. We are also going to start looking at what we do, not with false air of grandiosity, but with a real sense of this is my power, this is my wealth, this is my success, this is who I am. And instead of underselling ourselves or instead of ignoring ourselves, we are going to start looking at what we do as really worthwhile and as really powerful. It moves us to the death card reversed. Now, this is a resistance to transformation, right? This is a dying way of the old self, a rebirth of the new. But white dogs with red ears, this is a connection with the spirit world. We are connected with the spirit world, but we are overwhelmed by what the spirit world is showing us. Remember, Aquarius, we are ruled by Uranus, which is known as the, what is it? The piercing sword of truth. That's it. And I always think that's such a beautiful imagery to know that you are led by the piercing sword of truth, right? It sounds like something from a movie or a book or, or a video game. And here, there is a sense of we are resisting transformation because we don't feel like we've gained all the knowledge we were supposed to have gained. But Spirit is saying here, some things are meant to be left unanswered. Some things are meant to be a bit of a question mark. So understanding that and respecting that within ourselves, that's going to be a really big thing. Also knowing that we might be having a bit of difficulty with Scorpio energy, and that shift from Scorpio to Libra, it might not be as smooth, meaning, think of the tail of the dragon, that which, guides us, the like kind of like the rudder of the ship. We're going to see ourselves maybe not having a smooth of a balance, like feeling a little bit out of balance, feeling a little bit off balance. We could feel maybe even physically off balance. So just be aware of this during this time, that we are finding a harmony to move us forward. And we're looking at things and we're gaining understanding and we're questioning a lot. And we're questioning a lot that Spirit is saying here that we once found comfort in. We were questioning a lot that we thought, okay, well, that was just supposed to move forward smoothly and easily, and there weren't supposed to be any questions to it. And now we're questioning. Now, that can also be Neptune energy coming in, where we have that connection to the spirit world. And Neptune's like, okay, I'm going to dive totally in to this. I'm going to just absolutely embrace, going deeper and going deeper. And we can be a little resistant to that. We may not want to go quite as deep. And yet, with the high priestess, we definitely do want to go deep. So there's a little bit of a push and pull going on. Now, with the Three of Swords reversed, this is heartbreak, pain, disappointment, and hurt being released. We are going to be releasing a lot of negativity from our lives, a lot of things that have, kept us from moving forward the way that we want to. These are stabs in the backs, these are betrayals, the hurts, pains, disappointments. And we are going to be looking at things and saying, you know what? Enough is enough. This was a setback. This was something that made me feel overwhelmed or, broke my heart or completely devastated me at the time. But I am not defined by this pain. It will be part of my story. It will always be part of my story, but it will not be the main thing they tell about me. We're claiming back our power. We're claiming back our power. And that is a beautiful thing. And it moves us to the high priestess. The veil is being lifted from our eyes. We're fighting this a little bit, and that's okay. But we're starting to see more deeply, more honestly, more openly what it is that we want, what it is that we desire. And we can have the high priestess come up in so many readings, and we can say, well, why is it? If the veil is being lifted from my eyes, doesn't that only happen once? No. It's like we're like cocooned, and we start to see deeper, and we start to see deeper, and we start to see deeper, and it's like, oh wow, I didn't even know to be curious about this. I didn't even know to question. With the high priestess, there's also this link to our heart energy and to our liver energy. The liver in Qigong is seen as green energy. So here, there is this sense of what we love with our chakra, because green is the heart chakra, and what we what makes us angry, what makes us frustrated, what makes us overwhelmed. They're coming together. We're starting to see, to trust our hearts and to work through our angers with the high priestess as well. It's getting what we want in ways that we hadn't expected. Caradwyn is the high priestess in this card. She was one of the greatest sorceresses in Celtic tradition. And she had a son, and she didn't see that son as being that bright. She just didn't. She didn't think he was going to make much of his life. And so she made this cauldron right here. She made a potion that a little boy had to stir for 3 days. And it was a little serving boy she thought completely inconsequential, probably didn't even know his name. And she said, stir it for 3 days. Do not touch it. Do not stop stirring. Do not go to sleep. That is your task. And she left. And so this little boy is sitting there, stirring the pot. And can you imagine little boys with all their pent up little energy? And what happens is a bubble pops, and the little boy a gets a bit of the potion on his finger, and he puts his thumb in his mouth to cool the burn. And he's the first one to taste the potion. He is the one to get all the blessings that Cadwyn wanted bestowed on her son, and the only one to get the blessings. It was a one-off spell. And so Cadwyn chases down this little boy, who now has as much magic as she does. And finally, they shapeshift, as you do, and he changes himself into a grain of corn, into this big pile of corn. And she changes herself into a hen and eats the corn. And of course, she becomes pregnant. And then her son, she gives birth to the little boy, of course. And her son becomes Taliesin, one of the greatest bards in all of the Celtic world, which is what she wanted. She wanted her son to be greatness. It just wasn't the son she thought it was going to be, right? It wasn't the son she was preparing the spell for. So here, we're going to see that as the veil is lifted, as we start to see things, as things come into alignment, it's not how we thought it was going to be, but it is what we deeply desired. So that's a tricky one. That's always a tricky one. The high priestess is always tricky. It's truth, it's unveiling, it's insight, it's ideas, it's distinction moving forward. But it's never quite as you thought it was going to be. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides. So what's so interesting here is that we have the new moon in Aquarius coming forward. So we have our own energy coming forward. It says bring love into the situation. That's one of the most important things we do, Aquarius, is bring love into situations. Abundance is reversed. We're not feeling abundant. We're working towards our goals, but we can feel a little bit scattered. We can feel like our focus isn't there. But if we bring love into the situation, if we calm ourselves, if we're kind and compassionate with ourselves, if we, know what we love and know what we desire and move forward in love, the abundance will come. It will. There's also something that we're afraid of. We're afraid of really taking that next step towards, even though it will bring us a lot of abundance. Right now, we're feeling overwhelmed by it. This is resilience. Okay. We're releasing negativity. We're releasing toxicity. And it says take time to breathe out, but that's reversed. We're carrying a lot. We know that we're resilient. We've been through a lot, but we need to take time to breathe. We need to take time to be compassionate to ourselves and breathe and connect and be in love with our lives. It brings us to a new start is coming, but we need clear boundaries, especially as we're transforming, and especially because we're a little bit afraid of the transformations that are coming. We can find life maybe to be scary or overwhelming at times, and that's okay, but don't stop living because of that. It brings us to surrender to the divine as we assess the way forward. We're releasing a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of pains, a lot of disappointments. Now we're starting to see there's so much more here than I ever could have realized. And I'm starting to connect with what I truly want and desire. And Spirit is saying that for us. So when I'm saying I, Aquarius, Spirit is saying, that's you, that's you, that's you. Say, I am connecting with what I desire, what I want. I'm releasing so much hurt and so much pain and so much that I have carried, that has shrouded me. But it hasn't kept me safe. It has kept me small. And I'm done with that. Surrender to the divine. Assess the way forward. There's brilliance here. A fiery climax approaches creation. The Aries energy. We moved from Taurus to Aries with the North Lunar Node. A fiery climax is approaching. There's a confidence, there's a determination, there's an intensity. We create with this energy. Create with this energy. It brings you to the veil being lifted from your eyes. It brings you to an intensity of sight, an intensity of understanding. It's like, oh, this is where it's supposed to be? It's like, oh, okay. We knew it, but we didn't know it. We were claiming it, but we didn't claim it. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the star. That's us. That's us, Aquarius. We need to be mindful of getting in our own way, overthinking, overanalyzing, keeping us from achieving our goals, from getting to where we want to be. Our subconscious spirit message is clarity. We have a heck of a lot of clarity during this time, a heck of a lot of insight coming in. We have the clear-sightedness of the high priestess moving us forward. We're seeing things so clearly, it can actually be overwhelming. It can be scary. Our subconscious tarot message is the 10 of Swords reversed. Doubts, fears, hurts, pains, chaos. It's being released. We're having almost a prison that we felt we were trapped in, falling away. We're also having the hurts and the pains that others have bestowed upon us, like stabbed us in the back with. They're being released. We're finding our voice, we're finding our grace, and we're moving forward in it. Our subconscious Luna message is peace. Embrace peace. The answers you need are coming. They're not going to come as quickly as you want them to. We would like the answers yesterday, typed up in, a very clear, legible font, and to be able to move forward in that knowledge. The answers we need, they're not always going to be clear. But if we move forward in peace, in grace, in serenity of ourselves, that makes us unstoppable. All right, Aquarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this new moon and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aquarius. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a blessed moon. Bye.